I'm Geeta Nandikotkur, Managing Editor for Asia and Middle East with Information Security Media Group. I'm pleased to invite Illyas Kooliyankal, Group CISO at Abu Dhabi Islamic Bank from UAE, to the ISMG virtual studio today. Illyas will share his perspectives on what it means to be a wartime CISO and ways to build next generation security leaders, which has been a challenge for CISOs across the globe. Thanks for joining us today, Illyas.
Hey, hi, good morning, Geeta, and good morning to the whole audience who's listening to this interview. It's a pleasure, Geeta. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Illyas, you agree that leading edge security thought leaders have called for organizations to shift from a conventional peacetime view of cybersecurity to more of a wartime mindset. So, where do you see this shift now among CISOs?
Thank you very much, Geeta, for that wonderful question to start with this discussion. Because what I believe is that as a CISO in the industry for quite a long time, with teleco and stock exchange and bank, we were never at risk because we always were on the war front to anticipate the next incident and prepare for that, because always there are chances of an incident whatever we do in security, because it's an cat and mouse game in this field. So we believe that we were on the war front, and I've spoken on various platforms about CISOs, and the new war front will be cyber space. So provided that now what I can see last 1 year plus is that the COVID related changes in the whole ecosystem and the whole shift to digital world has exponentially increased the number of attacks and the persistence of attacks, and various political changes in the world attributed to that. Organizations and states and various actors are finding this is the best place to fight their whatever intended war and to achieve their objectives. So that actually put us in a very, very tricky situation, because the change in the whole ecosystem pushed us to support the business and organizations to by enabling them by leveraging all the digital channels and the digital media, where they can provide the services and reach to the customers and their end users. But at the same time, we have to ensure that we protect the organization from all these kind of attacks. Now, the whole information security field has been changed from a back seat to a front seat player. Because if you don't have the right security, if you don't have the right leadership in security, the organizations and nations is going to have bigger challenges to handle those threats, because threats are increasing and persistence is increasing, and you have to have the right security framework controls in place.
You brought a very interesting aspect about leadership also, and also the security controls. So, an extension to what you said, Illyas, most often I hear experts saying enterprises need to shift from conventional to unconventional security controls to respond to the aggressive tactics of global adversaries. As you rightly mentioned, the COVID has brought in new adversaries. So, what are these new controls?
The controls, to be frank, whatever the attacks are and whoever the threat actors are, I believe in security fundamentals, because many of the security or most of the security incidents what we are seeing, including ransomware attacks, which is getting the predominance these days, the control lies in the fundamentals, because you need to have a proper backup. You need to have an offline backup. You need to have controls in the access in terms of least privilege. Need to have You need to have multi-layer defense. If one control fail, you have another level of control. These are actually something we learn in security maybe 20, 25 years back when we started the security career. But the whole issue is that we forgot those basics and we change to a tool or solution based approach. What is the latest security technologies available? Let us procure it and implement it, and maybe even the respective administrator doesn't even leverage 10% of that tools, and even they don't understand that by the time they have another solution comes. And the whole journey is kind of going very firefighting mode. So what I believe as a CISO is that what I am trying to do also is that as much as that fundamental security principles are very strong, it's like any other area, like even mathematics. When we learn mathematics in schools, teachers say you have to have that base in maths, then only you build on that. And in security also, you have to have that base, then you build the right security solutions, you build the right processes, you have the people around that, then you have a bit more control. Now all the attacks are like they are actually exploiting somebody's lack of awareness. Again, we focus on end user awareness, but then our IT administrators and security professional awareness even probably lacking, and in sometimes of leveraging the tools or solutions or following best practices, because you ask for the users to change the password every 15 days, every 30 days, and the administrator password is never changed, and that will be the simplest password because they set the policy for the passwords. So these are like actually nothing new. I mean, these are all-time basic fundamentals. There's no magic solution yet. If it is there, then the biggest organization in the world would not be compromised. They have enough money, enough budget, enough team members who can manage the whole security with all the resources available, but they have security breaches. It is actually fundamentally, that is what we say, change management has to be properly controlled, properly governed. But what is the value of that to security was not being assessed or not being correlated well. So I get my team to think that from a holistic perspective, think innovatively how to connect, how to make sure that all the security activities, security measures are being optimized, effective, continuously monitored, continuously ensured, so that we don't have any loopholes. Because whatever you do, one loophole, and that is depending on a single level of control, that can breach, and that can really kind of have big impact to the organization. You need to have additional levels of control. You need to have resilience, so that even if user make a mistake, your organization cannot lose $10 million or $100 million just by a user making mistake. You cannot depend on that. So that is why I say, like, there has to be introspection among CISOs and security professionals to understand the root causes of issues and bring up holistic approach in security.
So, Illyas, you brought two interesting aspects. One is about change management, and the other is about resilience. Now, I think this is the era of resilience, right? So, I guess what are some of the changes what time CISO needs to bring in and which can help him channelize all operations? Any scenarios you can walk us through?
See, this is what I say, like that integration, like resilience is about, as I probably touched upon in the beginning of this discussion, is about incidents could happen. Security incidents tend to happen. So how the business continue and how the business is resilient to those incidents without an impact. Because as I said, one of my earlier award interview, for example, IDC award interview, the award jury asked me, do you have a security incident? Then I say, like, no, there was no security incident. Then he said, no, you must be lying. I cannot believe that there was no security incident. Then I said, no, yes, you are correct. It is, maybe I did not say it properly, because yes, I had security incident, but I did not have any business impacting security incident. How I manage those incidents to mitigate that incident and also contain that incident in such a way that it did not have an impact to my business. So that is what my objective. That is how that is resilience is about, how to ensure that if whatever happened, you are actually resilient to that and you continue your business, you mitigate, contain that incident in such a way that you have built-in control, or you may have, for example, failovers, you may have disaster recovery. So here we connect IT, business continuity, crisis management, cyber security. All of this has to talk each other, because what is your business impact assessment, which is done by a business continuity team about any kind of loss of services, what is the maximum tolerable period of disruption for that business unit or for that services, and what is the recovery time objective, what is the how long it takes for recovery of that, and what is the recovery point objective, what is the data I can afford to lose. All of this combination and the IT disaster recovery plan, IT disaster recovery process, and IT service continuity. Because when you design the IT service continuity properly, there has to be technical controls in place to continue the service by if even if something is goes kind of goes down. If one the main server goes down or a hard disk goes down, you have another hard disk or you have another server which can take over, and worst case you have a disaster recovery site to take over. So all of this has to be integrated, because many of these cybersecurity incidents can lead to a crisis, because a business continuity scenario, a crisis management can be handling the COVID crisis, and it should handle a cybersecurity incident related crisis also. So how you continue, how you manage that, that is that part. And similarly, the changes, as I said, any change, any releases to the production environment, any changes to the production environment, even development and test also, is that if it is going to have an impact to my service or my information's confidentiality, integrity, or availability. So that is our security buzzwords, CIA. And if there is any impact to any of that, we have to be in play. We have to be kind of involved. We have to ensure that that particular change, is it going to have an impact to my CIA of information or services? Then I need to make sure that there are proper controls in place, that is being assessed before, during, and after the change. So how security is getting involved in the change and release management, how security is to be integrated with the business continuity and crisis management. These factors has to have a collaborative effort to make sure that security is part of a resilience program, part of the overall business continuity program, and there has to be a very well-defined process when it has to be escalated to a business continuity or crisis management process. So this all needs to have that talks, communication, integration. Then there will be more effectiveness in overall cybersecurity management.
You touched upon technology in your earlier answer, and which is one part of the strategy to tackle adversaries, as you rightly mentioned. But what are the specific skills required to face the new war front for the CISOs?
Yeah, again, there is a combination, from a skill set, because although there is a big role to play in technology, but having the right process, having the awareness also is part of the whole kind of fight, because it has to be holistic. Now the skill set required is vary. It varies from different kind of activities and different type of requirement. Now, but fundamentally, what I would believe is that it depends upon the roles. For example, a CISO skill set is probably different, maybe a bit more different than a person on the ground who is actually configuring the security solutions. So, but at the same time, there has to be a kind of a fundamental understanding of technical pieces, including basics of technology like TCP/IP protocols, or how DNS works, how various attacks works. What are the different pieces of all of that basics? Because in technical areas of cybersecurity, you need to know that how IT components works and communicate and talks and functioning, because then only you can assess the security risk of that. Then only you can recommend security controls. Then only you can even the security solutions you can understand better to configure it in the best way. So that part is actually now evolving into a cloud security experience, because the whole spectrum is changing as more and more organizations are going to cloud, and that is being kind of expedited during the pandemic situation. Now, cloud security experience is immense. Kind of talent is required, skill set is required, and it's a huge gap is there, because people are still understanding the change from conventional IT environment to cloud. So cloud security is one thing which is going to have huge demand now, and really needs a very strong fundamental basics, and understand how the cloud works. What are the pieces of cloud, and then what are the security risks associated, because there's very peculiar security risks there. So understanding of risk is very crucial for any cybersecurity or information security professional. And on top of that, as probably I'm recently talking a lot as a CISO, as an information security professional, the most effective way of getting the controls in place is getting the buy-in from technology, getting the buy-in from the business area. So in total, the security professionals has to have business acumen. They need to understand risk very well. They need to have a strong technology skills. Combination of that and particular areas of security, it could be threat intelligence, there could be forensic investigation, it could be threat hunting, it could be security analysis, it could be security architecture, or any security area. They can focus on that area, but they have to have this kind of mindset. They need to be finding those kind of opportunity to innovate and come out with solutions that are effective.
So thanks, Illyas, for your comprehensive analysis of how CISOs need to shift from conventional peacetime to absorb the wartime mindset in challenging the adversaries.
Thank you, Geeta, for this opportunity, and really appreciate your time, and also really thanking the audience.
This is Geeta Nandikur for ISMG. Thanks for watching.